Samsung DeX Evolution. Goodbye classic mode, hello future. Samsung stripped away its classic DeX experience in One UI 8. But is this painful transition paving the way for a PC revolution? This divide between short-term frustration and long-term promise has left users scratching their heads. Let's unpack why Samsung made this controversial leap and what it means for the future of mobile desktop computing. TLDR, Samsung retired its original, heavily customized DeX mode. The new version now builds on Google's native Android desktop mode, aligning Samsung with Google's vision for a unified mobile PC experience. While this partnership could supercharge DeX's future, current users face a frustrating loss of features that made the classic mode shine. The desktop dilemma, Samsung's strategic gamble. Since 2017, Samsung DeX has been the gold standard for transforming Galaxy devices into PC-like powerhouses. But maintaining this custom solution proved unsustainable. By collaborating with Google to adopt Android's native desktop mode, Samsung might sacrifice today's polish for tomorrow's potential. But at what cost? Why Samsung sanctified Google's solution? The company abandoned its custom DeX implementation, partly because development fatigue. Continuously adapting DeX to new Android updates required Herculean effort, especially with relative Windows Chrome OS competition. App compatibility battles. Custom windowing systems often leave apps unoptimized, requiring endless developer patches. Google's unified vision. Android's merging with Chrome OS, including desktop Chrome, Linux terminals, and proper window management, created a shared foundation Samsung can build upon without reinventing the wheel. The trade-offs. Why tech enthusiasts are weeping. Currently, One UI 8's DeX feels like a step backward. Key casualties include taskbar customization, missing auto-hide options, keyboard controls, and system utility toggles. Keyboard management, no choice to place software keyboards on device versus display. Audio routing, default audio now stays on the phone by default. App control, lost app pinning, multi-window management limits lifted, but replaced inflexibly. Workflow security, eliminated lock exit controls and display topology freedoms. But here's where it gets controversial. Why sacrifice proven usability for theoretical future gains? As one Reddit user pointed out, Samsung's killing the very features that make DeX unique. Without those self-built solutions, we're just waiting to see if Google finally gets it right. The strategic potential. Why Samsung's bet could pay off. This shift positions Samsung to leverage Google's R&D. Any improvements to Android's desktop mode automatically benefit DeX. Enable cross-platform tools. Future integration with Chrome OS features becomes smoother. Drive app development. Encourages developers to build large-screen apps, not just flake squash phone versions. The verdict. Present pain, future game. Samsung's remaining proprietary touches, touchpad support, S Pen integration, wallpaper tools, hint they keep building atop Google's foundation. But until Android's desktop mode reaches maturity, users face a stripped-down experience. The big question, is trading feature polish for ecosystem synergy a smart long-term play or a user-hostile gamble? What do you think? Share your DeX dilemma experiences in the comments below. Samsung One UI 8 DeX mode downgrade. What's lost in Android 16's new desktop mode? Attention Galaxy lovers! Samsung's latest move may leave longtime DeX fans upset. If you've ever experienced how DeX can turn your Samsung phone or tablet into a productivity powerhouse, you'll understand why users are so passionate about it. Imagine plugging your phone into an external display and instantly getting a desktop-like interface. Mice, keyboards, window management, and multitasking galore. It's like unlocking a secret PC tucked away in your pocket. Over the years, Samsung's DeX mode has evolved, with improvements like wireless connectivity and even a customized tablet version. But here's where it gets controversial. The upcoming One UI 8 update is set to replace classic DeX with a new system based on Android 16's desktop mode. At first glance, this alignment with Android's mainline features might sound promising. But dig a little deeper, and you'll quickly notice this shift comes at a steep price in functionality. What's changing in One UI 8? The recent One UI 8 beta, first spotted by Android Authority, reveals that Samsung is phasing out the iconic DeX mode in favor of an updated version built around Android's native desktop mode. This isn't simply a new coat of paint. It's a significant reduction in features that many power users have come to rely on. For example, beloved gestures like snapping app windows to the top of the screen have disappeared. Vital capability lost. The Pin app button, along with the lock and exit functions, are gone without replacements. The familiar, robust taskbar now appears pared back, offering far fewer shortcuts and quick access tools. Mouse users will especially notice the difference. Features like pointer flow, helpful for seamlessly gliding your cursor between multiple screens, have been scrapped. Dive into Multi-Star's DeX settings, and you'll find important toggles like Run as many apps and Auto Open Last App have vanished. Now, the only significant toggle left relates to enabling a high-resolution display. And this is the part most people miss. These lost features aren't just minor conveniences. For some users, they're essential workflow tools. Imagine setting up the mobile workstation only to find your favorite multi-halving option stripped away. Would you adapt, or would it push you toward alternatives? Silver linings and missed opportunities. All is not lost, though. Classic DeX essentials like S Pen support and wireless connection options remain. Plus, Android 16's desktop mode reportedly brings better touchscreen navigation. Think smoother finger scrolling rather than just relying on mouse and keyboard. But here's a controversial take. Is this really an upgrade if it sacrifices the advanced user experience to gain cross-device consistency? Google's previous attempts at desktop mode never quite matched what Samsung built into DeX. Now, by standardizing on Google's less feature-rich system, Samsung could be making a calculated but risky bet on unifying Android's approach. Some might argue this simplification will help developers and devices play nicer together. Others will see it as Samsung abandoning its edge in productivity innovation. Why is Samsung making this move? What's driving the change? The most likely explanation is Samsung's desire to reduce the fragmentation of desktop experiences on Android. By basing their solution on Android's native desktop mode, both Samsung and Google can eliminate duplication, streamline software maintenance, and hopefully accelerate future feature development. In theory, this should benefit the broader Android ecosystem. But for now, die-hard DeX users will need to adapt and may mourn the loss of flexibility and power they once had. Will Samsung bring back advanced features over time, or is this a permanent pivot towards simpler, more uniform functionality? Let's open up the debate. Have you used DeX on your Samsung Galaxy device? Are you frustrated by the missing features, or do you think the move toward Android 16's desktop mode will pay off in the long run? Maybe you found creative workarounds, or perhaps you're ready to switch to a different productivity setup entirely. Sound off in the comments. Do you support Samsung's decision, or do you feel this is a step backward for power users? Could a unified desktop mode ever truly replace what made DeX special? Let's hear your thoughts. Agree, disagree, or somewhere in between. Samsung ditches classic DeX for Android desktop mode. What you need to know. Imagine a world where your smartphone could seamlessly transform into a desktop computer, offering a more productive and immersive experience. This was exactly what Samsung's classic DeX mode promised when it was first introduced with the Galaxy S8 series back in 2017. However, with the latest One UI 8 update, Samsung has made a surprising move by replacing its beloved DeX mode with a new version based on Google's native desktop mode in Android 16. While this change might seem like a downgrade to many users, there's a bigger picture at play. But here's the twist. This transition is part of a strategic partnership between Google and Samsung to elevate the desktop experience on Android. Let's dive into what this means for you and the future of DeX. Samsung revamps DeX in One UI 8. Until now, Samsung's DeX mode allowed users to connect their Galaxy device to an external display, providing a desktop-like experience. This was a radical innovation since Android didn't natively support such functionality. To fill this gap, Samsung had to modify core Android components to create its own desktop windowing system. Over the years, DeX evolved with each new Android release, offering users a more refined experience. The new DeX mode, With Android 16 now supporting a native desktop mode, Samsung no longer needs to maintain its own separate DeX system. This shift is a result of a collaborative effort between Google and Samsung aimed at enhancing desktop windowing on Android. However, the new DeX mode might feel like a step backward for longtime users, as it lacks several quality of life features that many have grown accustomed to. Missing features. Android Authority has highlighted some of the key features that are missing from the new DeX mode. For instance, the ability to auto-start DeX when connecting to an HDMI display is gone. Additionally, several taskbar settings such as navigation buttons, auto-hide, keyboard language, volume control, and the screenshot button are no longer available. Users also won't be able to set the on-screen keyboard location on the connected display or the phone by default. The option to set the default audio output to your connected display has also been removed. Another feature that's been axed is the Pin app, which allowed users to keep an app on top of others. Furthermore, the Lock DeX and Exit DeX buttons in the app drawer are now gone. Looking ahead. While the current version of DeX might feel like a downgrade, there's good news for the future. Since the new DeX mode is based on Android's native desktop mode, it will continue to improve as Google adds more features and enhancements. Moreover, Samsung and Google may work together to reintroduce some of the classic DeX's quality of life features in future updates. So what does this change mean for you? And this is the part most people miss. The long-term benefits of this partnership could lead to a more seamless and powerful desktop experience on Android devices. But here's where it gets controversial. Some users might question whether ditching the classic DeX mode was necessary or if it will ultimately pay off. The question remains, will users embrace this change and the potential improvements it brings, or will they miss the familiarity of the old DeX mode? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.